Hello, hello, hello. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day. And oh my lord, there is so much going on and so little time to do all of it. You guys are going to see a difference today because I do have, I'm having some issues with something. And all I'm going to say is I'm trying to get my normal computer to work. So that is what's going on today. So, with that being said, we will get this thing started. We will get everything ready and working. But yeah, we'll get into this because there's a lot of things to talk about today. There really, really is. So here we go. All right, everybody. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful day because I am having somewhat of a good day. So, with all of that being said, let's get into these. Wildfire scorches over 10,000 acres north of Los Angeles. The fire led to mandatory evacuation orders for over 30,000 people, including inmates in a detention center. A wildfire broke out on Wednesday morning in a rugged mountainous area north of Los Angeles has exploded to more than 10,000 acres. The wildfire has led to mandatory evacuation orders for tens of thousands of people, including inmates at the Los Angeles Detention Center. And they wonder why a lot of us just don't believe them sometimes. But yeah, that is an interesting one. So let's continue. And I wonder why. This is something you are not going to see all over the news. I'm going to say that right now. You are. Hello, El Presidente. Hope you're having a wonderful day, young man. It is. All right. Video pic Antifa protesters attack ICE Center in Portland after Trump inauguration. Huh. A video shared on social media shows Antifa protesters confronting law enforcement officials and starting fires at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE detention center in Portland, Oregon. The attack occurred on Monday night following President Donald Trump's inauguration and immediate crackdown on illegal immigration, according to the Post Millennial. Approximately 15 Antifa members dressed in black riot gear were involved in Monday's protest in Portland at the ICE detention center located at 4310 South Macadamian Road. The outlet reported that none of the Antifa protesters were arrested and that the group threatened to engage in additional violent protests. Huh. Almost like these people want this to happen. It's almost like these people want this to happen. Copyright strikes. I might get it back. I might not. I don't know. I might get it back, but I do not know. So there's that. Yeah. Yeah. and I'm going to be very careful with what I say about it. All right. Yeah. Let's continue. Let's talk about more. Son who ratted his father out after January 6th protests, now panicking following Trump's pardons. Oh. Jackson Riofet, the teen who reported his father to authorities and wiretapped his conversations, resulting in the most punitive January 6th convictions, says he feels unsafe after Trump's January 6th J6 pardons. Oh, this is going to be funny. During sentencing, Jackson testified and accused his father, Guy, of making threats and required a maximum security sentence. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Out front now is Jackson Reffett. He turned his father, Guy Reffett, into the FBI for participating in the insurrection. And Guy Reffett is currently in prison, serving a 6.5-year sentence for rioting at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th. So obviously convicted and serving his sentence. Jackson, I appreciate your time. So here we are, and Trump is announcing pardons for January 6th defendants. That this could include your father, who's serving a 6-year sentence, a 6.5-year sentence as we speak. What's your reaction?
Well, I'm honestly flabbergasted that we've gotten to this point. I mean, I'm terrified. I don't know what I'm going to do. I've taken as many precautions as I could recently. I've picked up a gun. I've moved, and I've gotten myself away from what I thought would be a dangerous situation and staying where I thought my dad could find me. Or other people, people that are going to feel so validated by these actions, by this pardon, I'm just so filled with paranoia about what could happen. I've been waiting all day from a call from the DOJ to just figure it out and know what to do next. Because right now I don't, other than just to, sit around and, talk about it.
I mean, you're scared. I mean, you're right. I mean, you're scared about what could happen from your father specifically, or someone else.
Yeah. I don't know what other people are thinking. I don't even know what my father's thinking. I mean, I've talked to my father before, but I had thought it gotten better, and it really hadn't. My dad is still involved with these militias. He still talks with, a martyr status. He has no change. He's more galvanized than ever that I've seen. My mom too. My sisters are waiting outside the jail cell right now, and I feel for them, and I know who they are, and I love them, but I can't feel safe. And I'm sure hundreds of other families, thousands of other people that have been affected by these people and their actions, and what could happen when they're released. I mean, who knows? I mean, my dad once called me a traitor, and he said traitors get shot. So that's, all I can think about recently, and just, yeah.
I'm sorry, Jackson. You mentioned your sisters, and I know you're one of 3, and you're.
The thing about all this, it's interesting to sit here and listen to him, because he made this on himself. Not me, not anyone else. He did this. He did this. And I really don't know what to think. I really don't know what to think with this one. Because this is why a lot of people do not want to be around. This is why a lot of people do not realize what they're getting into. This is why I think it is interesting to see all of this. It really is.
Your sisters are there, and you mentioned your mom too, and your mom and your sisters are fully on board with your father. And you talk about it really sounds like January 6th broke your family apart. Is there any way that yeah, go ahead.
Destroy it. Like, seriously, I mean, my father's actions coming from the Trump presidency and what he thought what he was doing was right, just destroyed it. And I made a very, very disgusting decision to inform authorities about what he was doing. And I still feel horrible about it every day. And, my sisters are out there right now and they're rooting for him. And, I understand that. I come with a point of love towards that. Like, I want to be there for them, but I can't. It just isn't safe for people like me that have done the same things I have done to do what I thought to do to protect my family. And, it's hard.
But you still love your father.
Of course. I love him. I love him. I just cannot feel safe around him. Cannot feel safe around people he knows. I cannot feel safe around the people my mother knows. My mom has, used my name to sit in front of a crowded room of these far right Trump supporters. And whenever she brings up my name and what I've done, the crowd will just roar in just anger about, like, what the hell did that kid do? And I being away from all this and just spectating what they're doing is just terrifying. And I can't do anything but just spectate. And I don't know.
Well, Jackson, I appreciate your talking. It matters. It's good people can hear it. And I know it comes not without risk, and it comes at cost for you. Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck.
Well, you're the one that decided to do it. Not your dad, not your mom. You are the one that did this. Now, got something to show you. I'm not going to show you all of it. But, oh, yeah. This is going to be an interesting one. This is going to be interesting. So let's go to the next one. Let's go back. Listen to this.
People joke about the deep state, but to some degree it's real because they have ways that they can slow things down or block you without you realizing it.
Meet Byron Cohen, an advisor at the White House.
RFK Jr. is a very bad pick for HHS. There's a good chance that the bureaucracy just crushes him.
Is there anything that you're going to do?
I would consider slowing things down. I can't really think of anyone who I would less rather have be president.
Can you give me an example of how you think they'll do it when RFK gets in?
One thing you might be able to do to sort of make him think like something is happening when it's not.
The White House advisor explains how the administrative state creates deceptive commissions to hinder executive decisions.
One of the ways you can slow things down in a bureaucracy is you can commit to studying something. Put together a commission. Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study the safety of fluoride in water. Mr. Secretary, we're going to put together a commission to study vaccine safety. And we'll let you know when the report comes out. And he'll be like, yes, great. And then years will pass and nothing has happened. A sophisticated bureaucrat can do a lot to run around an unsophisticated political agency.
Byron says that when it comes to certain policy positions, subverting the will of the people is justified.
would it be subverting the will of the people to crush RFK or block him or whatever?
For the most part, the American people don't actually agree with RFK's views on things like vaccines. So, I mean, in a literal sense, if you were like blocking something he was trying to do to undermine vaccines, you are probably acting in a way that is consistent with what the majority wants.
Meet Byron.
This is going to be an interesting one. People, they have. Think about what you are about to see. Think about what you're about to see. Think about what you just saw, people. They do not want people to know this. They really don't. We'll get into a little bit more of this, but yeah. Yeah, we'll get into this. This is why I'm doing this one, even though my computer's acting up right now. Let's find out about this man.
Byron Cohen, who serves as an advisor for interagency research and development oversight in the White House Office of Pandemic Preparedness and Response Policy, or OPPR. Byron's LinkedIn confirms his credentials both at the White House currently and at Harvard University, where he completed the requirements for his PhD in population health sciences, and where he also taught courses in epidemiological methods. On the eve of this video being released, Byron's LinkedIn page was taken down. Byron Cohen is not a political appointee. In other words, he was not appointed by any particular president. He is what's considered a detailee and holds a fellowship at the White House through something called the Horizon Institute for Public Service that placed him in the White House. According to multiple government websites, a detailee is an employee of a United States executive branch government agency temporarily assigned to another position, generally in another U.S. government agency or international organization. The employee's original agency will usually continue to pay the person's salary. White House
People, and there's a reason why I'm showing this. There's a reason why I'm showing all of this. There's a reason behind all of this.
House officials tell us that these fellows have real political power, and Byron tells us that he intends to exercise it.
What's it like working at the White House? It's pretty cool.
I like it. I mean, I have a good team. I can't really think of anyone who I would less rather have be president than Donald Trump. But that's what the American people
right
wanted,
there
I guess.
Are you gonna stay?
I'm going to stay for the first few months to help, help ensure there's a successful transition. Like most of our team is leaving. I'm also a detailee, but my detail doesn't end until July.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's interesting that now I want to show you some things that, because this is an old one, but I want to show you something that they tried to hide. This is an opinion piece in the New York Times. I had to get this. It turns out the deep state is actually kind of awesome. Huh. 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 Oh, that is an interesting one. So, why am I showing this? It's because you guys need to know what they're trying to do. Because this has a lot more to do with what we're finding out than anything else. Now, ATF was just caught rebranding their chief diversity officer. To circumvent President Trump's order, time to clean house. 2025. All right. She was the chief diversity officer, and now she is a senior executive, office of the director. Wonder why that is. Wonder why that is. What are they trying to hide? What are they trying to hide? Now, let's continue. We got another thing. This one's from NASA. NASA just sent this to all employees. Dear agency employees, we are taking steps to close all agencies' DEIA offices and end all. Hello, Michelle. And end all DEIA related contracts in accordance with President Trump's executive orders ending radical and waste government DEI programs and preferencing in initial recessions of harmful executive orders and actions. These programs divided Americans by race, wasted taxpayer dollars, and resulted in shameful discrimination. Believe me. It makes you wonder, what are they trying to hide? Because you know they're going to try to hide this. You know you're... Because this is why they do not want us. They do not want us to know this stuff. They really don't like that we are getting into all of this. Let's continue. We got more. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm not showing you pictures. You guys get to see. Yeah. All right. A quiet day at Antioch High School in Nashville, Tennessee turned tragic Wednesday morning when a situation in the school cafeteria left one student unalived and another injured. The thing with all of this, they do not want us to know what. They really don't want us to know any of this. They really do not want us to know any of this. And it's interesting that it's happening. It really is interesting. All right. But I'm not going to get into what I think's going on, but I wanted to share it. Let's continue. Let's talk about what's going on. Massive shift in support for deportation of illegal aliens, says CNN pollster. The dramatic change in attitude started with Trump's first term in office. CNN poll analyst Harry Anton documented a massive shift in support for deportation of illegal aliens among Americans in the past decade. Eaton said that in 4 separate polls taken in the last month, a majority of Americans said they wanted to deport, support the deportation of all immigrants who are here illegally in the U.S. A New York Post poll found 55%, 64% in Marquette, 57% in CBS, 56% in ABC. It's like these people don't realize what's actually going on. They don't realize what's actually going on. Now, let's talk about what's going on. Yeah, this is. All right. Earlier today, Ed wrote about, yeah, we know about that. Now, Tom Holman is awesome. Any TV host who uses the term undocumented is an activist. Yeah. And, and I know what just happened. We'll get back to Mr. Holman. I do not understand. All right. I don't know why it's doing that. Don't understand it. Don't understand what's happening. My internet. All right. Let's do that again. Hey, Daisy.
And so what is happening as we speak is limited to those with criminal records?
That's the target of this operation. But like I said many times, in places like sanctuary cities where we can't arrest a bad person in the jail, we would like to have access to the jail to arrest a criminal alien in the safety and security of a county jail, which is safer for the community, safer for the officers, safer for the alien. But when you release a public safety threat out of a sanctuary jail and won't give us access to him, that means we got to go to the neighborhood and find him. And we will find him. But when we find him, he may be with others. Others that don't have a criminal conviction but are in the country illegally, they will be arrested too, because we're not going to strike. And this is a difference between the last administration and this administration. ICE is going to enforce the immigration law. There's nothing in the INA, the Immigration Nationality Act, says you got to be convicted of a serious crime in order to be removed from this country. So there's going to be more collateral arrests in sanctuary cities because they forced us to go in the community and find the guy we're looking for.
Let me just make sure that I understand what you're saying, because at first you said that the first targets are those with criminal records, but you are also saying that those who are undocumented in the U.S., also who don't have criminal records, people who are working in their communities, maybe even have spouses who are American citizens, they could be swept up with ICE today as well?
What I'm telling you is when we go find our priority target, which is a criminal alien, if he's with others in the United States illegally, we're going to take enforcement action against him. We're going to enforce the immigration law.
What happens then? So the ICE officers gets an individual or a set of individuals and apprehends them. What next? What do these ICE officers do with them? Because in some cases, and you know this far better than I, they haven't been deported in the past because their country of origin won't take them.
Well, what happens after arrest? They're taken to an ICE office and they're processed and put in detention. While they're in detention, ICE officers work on travel documents. The host country sends travel documents saying, yeah, this is our citizen, this is our national. Then we make flight arrangements. So they could be in detention from a few days for a few weeks until that removal was made happen.
What if the host country doesn't want them, as has happened in the recent past?
We have various plans. We have various plans. Other countries are willing to take them. We have third safe country removals. So that's something we're working through. But I think you're going to see less of the recalcitrant countries. Countries won't take their citizens back under this president, because this president has vowed that these countries will take them back. So I'll leave that up to the White House. But there will be negotiations with those countries who are pushing back on recalcitrancy, and they will be removed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That is interesting. These people do not realize that they've gave themselves all right. It's very interesting that this is happening. They really do not want people to do this because they know they're in deep trouble. What would a... Yeah. This is going to be an interesting one. Let's continue. Must put Americans first. President Trump put sanctuary cities on alert over illegal immigration. And that right there is a very, very good thing. President Trump put sanctuary cities on alert that he was going to implement his campaign pledge to deport illegal immigrants from the country. Deep blue cities are rushing to Trump-proof the sanctuary. Yeah, I will prosecute him. The thing about it, they do not, because if they lose their illegal aliens, what actually happens is they lose power. What happens is they lose power that they cannot get back. And this is what it's all about, is power for most of them. They do not want to lose power. It's interesting to say that. All right, let's continue. And tomorrow I will have another one. Wrong one. I need, and the one I just finished. All right, give me a minute. I don't have I knocked the one that I wanted next. All right, there we go. Breaking: Trump signs executive order suspending physical entry of immigrants at southern border. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order. Yeah. Hope you're having a wonderful day, Daisy. President Trump has signed an executive order suspending the physical entry of immigrants through designated ports of entry at the U.S. southern border. The order instructs the authorities to immediately turn back or reject anyone entering the country illegally. Huh. Hello, Ninja. Through the exercise of his authority they really don't like that Trump's doing this to them. They really don't like this. But it's fun to watch. It really is. New York Times sets bar for derangement by suggesting Trump's terrorist label for cartels. What the? Yeah, I've read these. I've read all of them. Oh, my Lord. Why? Why? How dumb are these people? How dumb are these people? Oh, for crying out loud. Can it get any worse for these people? The Times made a number of presumptions, including that the terrorist cartels are long for this world. Mexican drug cartels are responsible for the untimely deaths of hundreds of thousands of people over the past 2 decades. When factoring in fentanyl, they smuggle into the United States, the cartels are also culprit for the deaths of over 200 Americans a day. In addition to dealing in an addiction, they routinely engaging mass kidnapping, torture, and political intimidation. Eventually came for. Why would are they really a journalist when they do stuff like this? Are they really a journalist when they say crap like this? Journalists at the New York Times got together in an editorial meeting and actually came up with this crap. What the? Can someone explain this to me? Can somebody explain this to me? Because it seems to me this is just bullshit. This seems like bullshit. I really don't know. I really don't know. Holy, yeah. So they think labeling cartels terrorists will hurt our economy? What the illegal economy? Yeah. Let's continue. Billy, you're right. You're right, my friend. I will say I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Because it would be a lot better than what we have right now. Just saying. It would be better than what we have right now. Holy. The director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, has resigned. The director of the Federal Bureau of Prisons, BOP, has resigned her position while Biden era executive order that sought to phase out the use of private prisons has been repealed amid President Donald Trump's efforts to implement drastic reforms to the Justice Department. Colette Peters, who has led the BOP since August 2022, is out as director of the beleaguered agency, and she has been replaced by William Thorpe, who had been serving as deputy director of the BOP. They really don't like that Donald Trump won. Let's continue with this federal government. Trump's FBI DOJ shakeup on holding untouchable feds accountable. Former agent says President Donald Trump's inauguration has already led to a major shakeup in the leadership of the Federal Bureau of Investigation and the Department of Justice. Fox News reported that the major leadership changes at the FBI started when former FBI Director Christopher Wray, who was appointed under Trump's first administration, previously announced he would be stepping away from the position prior to Trump's inauguration. The thing about it, we need this to happen. We really do need this to happen, and it's glorious to see it happen. Now, there is a lot of, and there's going to be more tomorrow. I'm just giving you, yeah, bye-bye, Ray. And Daisy, did you get to watch the hearing that I did this afternoon? Pro-life community anxiously awaits Trump's pardons for imprisoned activists. I hope President Trump will shortly pardon the pro-lifers unjustly targeted and jailed by the Biden administration. Members of the pro-life community are anxiously awaiting word that President Trump will pardon the activists imprisoned by the Biden administration. I honestly think he's done this already. I could be wrong. Trump issued a sweeping executive order on Monday that granted full pardons for about 1,500 criminal defendants related to January 6th Capitol riot, making good on campaign promises to free those targeted by the Biden DOJ. Today is a good day, any day amen. Today is a good a day as any. The pro-lifers could eat dinner with their families tonight instead of yet another prison meal. I hope these people get out. Go watch the hearing, please. All right. All right, we got more. Trump tells Trump tells Putin to end Ukraine war now or else. We can do it the easy way or the hard way. All right, let's go. Let's listen to Mr. Trump. Oh, I need to do something. Give me 1 minute. Because this one does not like this one does not like to keep everything up when I do this. So here we go.
You called for a ceasefire in Ukraine. If Vladimir Putin doesn't come to the table to negotiate with you, will you put additional sanctions on Russia?
Sounds likely.
And do you think that the war should be frozen currently?
The war should have never started. If you had a competent president, which you didn't, the war wouldn't have happened. The war in Ukraine would have never happened if I were president. But that couldn't happen because the election was rigged.
Oh, it's interesting to hear him say stuff like this. Putin knows not to mess around with Trump. There's a reason why everyone wants to come to the negotiating table with him. Just saying, there's a reason. Horrible people like you. Trump nukes reporter who interrupts him. President Donald Trump savaged a reporter for repeatedly interrupting him during a press conference on Tuesday, reminding him why the American people voted for him. Ah, wrong one. Let me do that again. Let me do this one again. Yeah. I don't know if we get anything from Russia. I don't know, my friend. Would you like some vodka? Is that what you're talking about, Billy?
You're a president who has long said that you back the blue, but aren't you sending the message that assaulting officers is okay with these parties?
No, the opposite. In fact, I'm going to be letting 2 officers from Washington Police, D.C. I believe they're from D.C., but I just approved it. They were arrested, put in jail for 5 years because they went after an illegal, and I guess something happened where something went wrong. And they arrested the 2 officers and put them in jail for going after a criminal, a rough criminal, by the way. And I'm actually releasing. No, I am the friend of police, more than any president that's ever been in this office.
More than 400 of the people that you pardoned, though, assaulted officers. So I want to ask you about the Vice President, J.D. Vance. He said, this is a week ago, he said, if you committed violence on January 6th, obviously you should not be pardoned. Why is your vice president wrong?
Well, only for one reason. They've served years in jail. They should not have served, and they've served years in jail, and murderers don't even go to jail in this country. And we had 1,500. We have 16 under review. As you know, we commuted about 16 of them because it looks like they could have done things that were not acceptable for a full pardon. But these people have served years of jail, and their lives have been ruined. And in many cases, listen to me for a second. Stop interrupting. They've served years in jail, and if you look at the American public is tired of it. Take a look at the election. Just look at the numbers on the election. We won this election in a landslide because the American public is tired of people like you that are just one-sided, horrible people in terms of crime. You don't talk about all the people that have been killed and what happens to those murderers. Murderers get no time. You take a look at some of these DAs, they go after political opponents, but they don't go after people that shoot people in the street. They're caught. They know where they're living. They know everything. They don't even go up to pick them up anymore. They just let them live there. They know all about it. They have their pictures. They have the tape of the shooting, and they don't even go up and you're talking about this. No, we pardoned people that were treated unbelievably well, poorly. In the history of our country, there's never been anything take place like this. They're still looking for them, but they're not looking for the murderers, the people that are killing everybody. We are, though, and we're getting them out of the country. We just started that. We're getting them out of the country, and they're going to be gotten out of the country fast. They came in illegally from jails and from prisons. They killed many people. Some of them killed many people. About 50% of them killed more than one person. They were released into our country. That's what we're focused on, not the kind of nonsense you're talking about.
Oh, you, Billy, you have no horrible people. Oh, yeah. I wonder if Nancy really regrets what she did that day. The video. But Trump is one of these people. Trump is one of these people that will not let them get away with this stuff. And it's fun to watch it. It really is fun to watch these people go through this. And Trump just does. I don't agree with Trump on everything. For crying out loud, I didn't agree with him going and speaking at Davos. I didn't like him speaking at Dorna. That, Billy, you're right, but let's continue. We got more. Watch the moment Vance steps inside the Oval Office for the first time. Let me see. Twitter. Because I think, yeah. I'm gonna have to do something, but I am gonna get you. We're gonna see the video. Breaking 911. And I am trying to find it on here. Would have been nice if they would let us. And no, I'm trying to find it. I am trying to find the video. Where's the Vance one? Yeah, I'm gonna have to let me search. I found it. Give me 1 minute. All right, you see the headline? I'm about to give you the video. Let me do this. Let me make sure. That's what I was figuring is gonna happen. Now, we get to see JD Vance's reaction.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Margot?
Hey, Margo. Good to see you too. Wow.
This is JD Vance's first time to step into the Oval Office.
Wow.
It's incredible.
This is incredible. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
What do you guys think?
Margot?
Hey, Margo. Good to see you too. Wow.
This is JD Vance's first time to step into the Oval Office.
Wow.
I got a question for everybody. And I really do mean this. What would you do if that was you? What would you do? It's quite interesting to see that in real life.
It's incredible.
This is incredible.
It's interesting, don't you think? What would you guys do? That is one of those situations that you be checking out the Resolute desk. That is, in my honest opinion, because of seeing the whole thing, I would take a seat at one of the chairs and I have a conversation with the president. I would have a conversation with the president. Because how many people actually get to sit in one of those chairs and have a conversation with a sitting president? Cat Williams is a funny guy. I will say that right now. Cat Williams is and the thing about it, my new computer is getting things installed and everything. So I might be having my computer back here in a little bit, which would be a good thing. But this is why I love this. Think about the reaction of JD Vance. And I do have an update on this next story. I do have an update with this next story. Latest Democrat scheme to thwart Hegseth's nomination just got nuked. Pete Hegseth appears to be on the verge of confirmation as Secretary of Defense, but Democrats are gearing up for a fierce battle to block it. If you thought the Democrat smear tactics against Brett Kavanaugh were just a thing of the past, think again. They're dusting off the same old playbook to derail Hegseth's nomination. They don't realize We know they do not want us to do this. They think they are so much smarter than all of us. They honestly think they are smarter than all of us. It doesn't surprise me anymore. It really doesn't. Now, they're showing their hand. They really are showing their hand. Ex-sister-in-law claiming Pete Hegseth abused ex-wife is represented by Democratic Party connected law firm. Oh my Lord. And they wonder why people don't trust them. They wonder why they are so far behind all of us. It's interesting. Their hands, knees, and toes. Oh, for crying out. This is why I love doing the Daily Show. Part of it on YouTube. Yeah. Is it what? Daniel Dietrich, the estranged ex-sister-in-law of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, now is claiming he abused his ex-wife. His ex-wife has came out and denied all of it. So there goes that. There goes that one. But what do you expect? These people do not like Mr. Hegseth. They really do not like. They really don't like this man. But I think it's, yeah. But his ex-wife has came out and said, and the thing about it, yeah, there's a lot of those. I try to stay away from the clickbait stuff because I don't want people coming to me and saying that I'm lying about stuff. That's one thing I do not like to do. I'll ask a question that might be a little clickbaity, but that's about it. Oh, yeah. Wonder why they're doing this. I wonder why they're doing this. Wonder why they're doing this. All right. Who begs Trump to reverse? Nope. YouTube yanked your lap. YouTube B. WHO begs Trump to reverse withdrawal after executive order cuts off funding. The World Health Organization responded to President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw the United States from the UN Health Organization by urging him to reverse the executive order. The withdrawal will save America, the U.S., $500 million in spending annually, so about $2 billion right off the bat. Trump criticized the agency for its handling of 2020, while also noting that China pays only a small fraction, $39 million, compared to what the U.S. pays. Yes. Yeah, I feel sorry for the WHO. Poor WHO. All right. Let's talk about some states that doesn't like Trump and what he's about to do. Those states just sued to stop Trump's birthright citizenship order. On Tuesdays, attorney generals from 22 different states sued President Donald Trump to block an executive order that refuses to recognize birthright citizenship of U.S. born children of illegal aliens in the United States. Uh-oh. Got a question for everybody. Does anybody really think he didn't know this was coming? According to the New York Times, the complaint was filed in federal district court in Massachusetts. How much you want to bet that he wanted this to happen the entire time? What if would you guys disagree with me? All right. Let's continue. We got more. Speaking of being downright ugly to some extent. Trump strips Warhawk John Bolton of Secret Service detail and security clearance. Former National Security Advisor John Bolton was stripped of his security clearance and Secret Service detail as President Donald Trump continues to remove deep state actors under his presidency. Within hours of Trump taking office, the Secret Service detail had been assigned to Bolton was immediately terminated. Bolton to express disappointment but not surprised that President Trump had terminated his Secret Service detail before criticizing the president and noting that Biden made the decision to extend his U.S. Secret Service protection. Mr. Bolton, you might have caused all right. Trump cuts off EV charging gravy train enjoyed by Elon Musk Tesla. Now that's an interesting one. What are the 22 states community post? It's all the liberal states, my friend. It's New Jersey, New York, Minnesota. There's a lot of them. But I am also working on President Donald Trump's recent executive order targeting electric charging infrastructure funding could have significant impacts for Elon Musk Tesla, which has benefited from these programs in the past. There we go. TechCrunch reports that indirect move against the EV industry. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order declaring that all agencies shall immediately pause the distribution of funds from programs created by the Inflation Reduction Act and bipartisan infrastructure law. The order specifically calls for a halt to funding for EV charging stations made available through the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Formula Program and the Charging and Refueling Infrastructure Grant Program. All right, let's continue. We got more. Musk cast doubt on Trump funding for AI project. Tech mogul Elon Musk, a key supporter for Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, is questioning the funding for a new AI project Trump announced Tuesday. They don't actually have the money, Musk said late Tuesday on X, formerly known as Twitter, the app he owns, when responding to a post from OpenAI announcing the partnership. The new entity, Stargate, will start building data centers and the electricity generation needed for the future development of the fast evolving AI in Texas, according. Hey, Mayor. Hope you're having a wonderful day, young lady. Hope you're having a wonderful day. All right. But that is going to be an interesting one. Let's continue. This is going to be interesting. Let me bring this down because I want you to hear this from Mr. Hannity. And I'm taking my time today for one simple fact. I actually have time. Trump tells Hannity Biden may not escape hammer of justice. He didn't give himself a pardon. I think I know what what Barron might have said to
Joe Biden ran and said he would never do preemptive pardons. It was an issue that came up when you were leaving your first time.
He thought, he heard that I was going to do it. I didn't want to do it. I was given the option. They said, sir, would you like to pardon everybody, including yourself? I said, I'm not going to pardon anybody. We didn't do anything wrong. And we had people that suffered. They're incredible patriots. We had people that suffered. You had Bannon put in jail. You had Peter Navarro put in jail. You had people that suffered, and far worse than that, they've lost their fortunes, they've lost their whatever, their nest egg, paying it to lawyers, and those people. And people said, and they wouldn't have even taken, most of those people, they wouldn't have even taken a pardon. This guy went around giving everybody pardons. And you know, the funny thing, maybe the sad thing, is he didn't give himself a pardon. And if you look at it, it all had to do with him.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. I mean, it's interesting that this is coming up now. It really is. He did not pardon himself. He did not pardon himself. That tells you everything you need to know. That tells you everything you need to know. All right. Let's continue. And I'm on my backup computer today. That's why I'm having the issues. Just letting you know. Major bank CEO says Trump's fiscal policies make U.S. the #1 place to invest. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's almost like these people.
Welcome back. Major banks kicking off fourth quarter earnings season with surging profits. Bank of America reporting a double beat, more than doubling its profits to $6.67 billion. Take a look at the numbers. Investment banking fees skyrocketing 44% to $1.7 billion. The stock this morning moving fractionally, as you will see here. And joining me right now from Davos is the chairman and CEO of Bank of America, Brian Moynihan. Brian, great to see you.
It's great to be here again on a beautiful, looks like it's been another beautiful day here.
Yeah, it's actually warmer here than it is in New York. Unbelievable.
I think a lot warmer.
Yeah, exactly. But I want to get your take on the new policies that we're talking about. A lot of people are excited about deregulation for the banking sector. Is that the group, do you believe, in your business is the biggest beneficiary of some of these policies coming out of the Trump administration?
I think it's across the board. If we were sitting here last year, the issue of business, there was inflation and interest rates, but another big issue was the amount of regulation and small to medium-sized companies and in the banking system and in large companies. And the feeling is that will now swing back to more normalcy. It swung way too far. In the last administration, we tried to explain to them that was going to cause them troubles because I've said to people, our workers do a great job for our clients. If you come in and say they're all, doing bad things and stuff, it's just not true, and they don't believe it. And so the idea of bringing that regulation back has spawned a lot. The ability to get deals done has spawned a lot. Will we be beneficiaries in our industry? I hope, because we have excess capital, excess liquidity, all this stuff. That'll be helpful. But I think it's more important that the general economy feels a little bit of relief on regulation across the board. The ability to get deals done. American companies can now go out domestically and around the world and be the kings that they're supposed to be.
So what specific regulations do you think were the most onerous? Is this large?
Yeah. Was making sure.
Usually about holding capital, Basel III. What specifically do you want to see changed?
In the banking side?
Yes.
It's kind of all the above. So to make it straightforward, in 2019, when people thought we had enough capital, and it was said by all the chairs of the Fed and every capital industry is right, to now we went up about 20-25% for the same risk. And the reason why is behind the scenes, all these rules kept ratcheting up, and nobody was saying, wait a second, the GSIB, which is a tedious concept for most Americans, but it wasn't indexed.
These are the globally most important banks.
Right, and it wasn't indexed. It was supposed to be indexed. And so I think our appeal to them was, wait, just keep, the idea is, we have lots of capital. We have lots of liquidity. 4 or 5 years ago, we helped you recover from the pandemic. We helped you through the regional banking crisis. It's clear that we don't need more capital because someone in Europe calculates something very differently and thinks that the numbers are the same when they're not close. So, and if you said it's 100 basis points for us, that's a $200-300 billion of loans we could make, and that would be good for America. So you have to keep the cost benefit analysis much more fine tuned. So it's capital, it's liquidity, it's the regulatory impact on consumer regulations, it's regulatory impact on not allowing banking mergers. That's not important for us because we're not doing, but not allowing banking mergers to take place, because at the end of the day, the consolidation has to take place by the choice of the customers, the clients. If they want to sell, fine, and they can sell to somebody. But the scale of institutions has moved, and you got to have to be competitive. You got to move, or you got to have a different business model, and both will survive. But right now, they weren't letting one happen just because they said they didn't like people getting bigger.
Yeah. Well, for some reason, they were against anybody getting bigger. I mean, the deals, and that's about to change. President Trump changing the leadership in all of these agencies, from the FTC to the DOJ. So let me get your take on 2025. You were on a panel yesterday called The U.S. Economy in 2025. What would you expect in terms of M&A, in terms of capital markets businesses like IPOs? So
if you look broadly, the backdrop now from our research team, which is the best in the world, is 2.4% growth for GDP in the United States in 25. They probably added 100 basis points to that aggregate growth rate over the last 6 to 8 months. And that's, last year we were talking about soft landings. No, it's just trend growth. And so that's a good backdrop. Without having to take the risk of getting approvals through, that means deals will go through. So the M&A pipeline was full. There's a lot of conversation taking place. You just couldn't complete a transaction. And then the second thing is, a lot of private equity firms had IPOs ready to go and needed to get into the market, but with the strength of the market, 2 years of 20% type of increases, with the IPOs have gone out in the market, and they have to be companies that earn money and have a good, or being very discrete businesses. Those are getting done and they're trading up. Therefore, that says the capital can be put to work. So all that bodes well. You saw investment banking fees up 44% fourth quarter over last year's fourth quarter, nearly that for the year. But the enthusiasm by our team for what's ahead of it is far greater than it was the fourth quarter, because that was sort of under the old regime.
And I guess in the last quarter, you just reported it's your global markets business was showing growth for the 11th quarter?
11th quarter in a row. You had Jim DeMar on a few weeks ago, and 11 quarters in a row, year-over-year growth, which is a steady growth rate. Jim and the team have done a great job. So Matthew on investment banking has done a great job. Jim on the trading side, and we just keep growing that business. $900 billion of balance sheet deployed for our clients, and he does a great job. But they keep walking up. Some people go up and down more by market conditions, but our job is to continuously grow that every year, and he's done a good job doing it.
And of course, you came into this company at a terrible time during the global financial crisis. Oh, I remember. And it was scary. During the global financial crisis. You are now celebrating January 1st will be your 15th year at B of A. What incredible growth on your watch. Tell me how the environment is different today.
Well, look, in those times, we weren't sure whether the industry was going to survive or how it's going to be structured. We weren't sure whether the governments around the world were going to be able to withstand this. We weren't sure the consumers that would over leveraged were going to have. And we worked through all that. And for the last 10 years, it's been about organic growth in our company. And what we take pride.
The thing about it, these people don't realize we're watching. Now, for YouTube, this is your last one, because I do have other things that I have to do. I will have more over on Rumble. You guys are more than welcome to go over there. But yeah. Oh, Melania is a gorgeous woman. All right, let's here's your last one for today on YouTube. Here's the letter Joe Biden left for Trump. We know the counter. We know the contents of the letter Joe Biden left for President Donald Trump before he pardoned his entire crime family and left office. Trump was busy signing executive orders reversing the damage the Biden left in his wake. Dear President Trump, as I leave this sacred office, I wish you and your family all the best in the next 4 years. The American people and people around the world look to this house for steadiness in the inevitable storms of history. And my prayer is that in the coming years will be a time of prosperity, peace, and grace for our nation. God bless. May God bless you and guide you as he blessed and guided your beloved country since our founding. Joe Biden, 1/20/25. Mayor, you're right about that one. You are right about that one. Melania would look good in almost anything. Just saying. Melania would look good in almost anything. All right. To the people on YouTube, thank you for coming. To the people on Rumble, I will be with you here in about 10 seconds to continue this. And ladies and gentlemen on YouTube, I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And please remember to be good to one another because we are in this together. No matter if you're left, right, or center, I'll see you guys tomorrow for another daily show. Until then, bye.